working with me, let me know. Don't drag me off and tell me I'm
So long, when I call this meeting to order, if you're going to continue outbursts, I will ask you to leave. I will dispel you from the meeting. So please stop.
So now you're threatening me
I
because
would like,
if you threaten
thank
me,
you, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I call to order the special meeting of council on Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Adoption of agenda. 2.1 recommendation that council adopts the agenda. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Johnston, thank you. Any discussion regarding the agenda?
Marcel, can you hear me?
Oh.
Marcel?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I see him, but he is there.
He is there. Okay, perfect. Okay, any discussion regarding items on today's agenda? Okay. Oh, Councillor Wong.
I would just like to say that our public library is vital for our community, and that the Village of Goose does deserve a public library. And I think the whole matter of this going back and forth and being reconsidered multiple times is very inappropriate.
So this is the only time that this has been reconsidered. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Councillor Whittle, can you voice your vote, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Kind of. You're sort of cutting out a little bit.
All right, I'll see if I can.
Hang on, we're just going to give Councillor Whittle a minute to get it all. Let me know when you're ready there, Councillor Whittle, and we will resume.
I would also like to note something.
From the agenda?
It's not from the agenda, just in case the public is concerned or
So
noticing.
point of order, you can only make a reference to the agenda item. He's good? Okay, perfect. So we're going to move on to item number 3, new business. So 3.1 recommendation.
Recommend the council reconsiders the Blue Scoopy Municipal Library budget.
Can I get a seconder?
It doesn't need a seconder, point of order.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. So we have brought forward the Poughkeepsie Public Library. So the numbers that were put forward, what's that, Councillor Whittle? Nope, he's cutting out again. So the library budget that was put forward on the original April 17th agenda that we had looked at that point in time was numbers from November. And so myself and Councillor Rabble have sat down with the Poughkeepsie Public Library Board, and we've looked at their budget. And you'll see under what they're asking for now is a total of $116,810. You'll note at the bottom of page, just so everyone's aware, at the bottom of page
Sorry, page
3.
Just a point of order, actually.
What's your point of order referring to?
My point of order would be, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but is the mayor the one able to give a non-seconded reconsideration? I'm wanting to have this.
Yeah.
But if a councillor initiates the motion, doesn't it have to be seconded by another councillor?
So it is me that's called the special.
The motion, and if you can hear me.
Oh, hang on. I'm just going to pause there, Councillor Rabble, if you don't mind. Councillor Whittle, you are still cutting in and out, just so you know. He needs to like stand in a corner of a room with one leg up or something.
Can you phone in?
That was another option, but our phone system's currently
it's
not working.
It's working now.
Oh, is it working now?
I was told it was. Yeah. We haven't tried it yet, but.
Councillor Whittle, would you like to try calling in?
No, we have to call him.
Is that any better?
A little bit. Are we as glitchy for you as you are for us?
But yeah, if it works better, my apologies. Yeah, give me a call and we'll see if that works better.
Personal or village?
You might have answered me, you didn't even know. All right, so we're gonna resume, we do have quorum, so we're gonna continue going. So I called this special meeting in regards to reconsideration, so it is my reconsideration. A reconsideration by the mayor does not need to be seconded.
But if I may,
Yeah.
the motion was made by a councillor. Are you therefore making the motion as mayor to reconsider the library budget? Just for clarification.
Yeah, just for technicality purposes. It was read by a counselor off of the agenda, but I put it on the agenda, so it is one of
Okay.
those technical bits, but yes.
So for the record, you're making the motion. Okay, thank you.
No worries. So on the bottom of the Poughkeepsie Public Library Board budget, on the third page, you'll see under actuals, it shows in brackets 45,836. The brackets are to represent a deficit. So currently, as it stands now, if the budget is not increased for the Poughkeepsie Public Library, they could be facing a deficit. And under the Poughkeepsie Public Library Act, of course, we cannot leave our municipality in a deficit. And then plus, in myself and Councilor Rabble working with the Poughkeepsie Public Library, we were able to get these most recent numbers. So these numbers are from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, so that's not including taxes, where the numbers that we had before were from November 2023. So the actuals on this are actually based off of their SOFI, and these are the most recent accurate representation of what the Poughkeepsie Public Library is needing to function for the 2024 year. And so that's why there's that slight increase. Originally, they were asking for 93, but when we looked at the actual numbers of what's going to be required to fund the Poughkeepsie Public Library, it's 116,810. Okay, any discussion? Councilor Rattle?
If you will grant me the opportunity, I'd like to provide a preface and then a statement on what the budget that's been presented.
Yeah, as long as the preference and statement is regarding the budget, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So I would like to thank the library, the librarian, the library president, the library board for working with us in regards to this budget, as well as the library bookkeeper. These folks put in extra hours, and I really just want to put on the record that I'm very thankful for their time that they spent working on this. So, mayor, council, staff, and members of the public, I'm a passionate advocate of the library. Libraries are more than just books. They're beacons of knowledge, enlightenment, and opportunity. They are the great equalizer in society, providing access to information and resources regardless of one's background or circumstances. They are places where imaginations flourish, knowledge is discovered, and the seeds of lifelong learning are planted. However, the future of our beloved library has come under threat. Proposed budget cuts threaten to extinguish this beacon of civil society. I'm here to tell you that our library is as essential now as it has ever been. First and foremost, our library is a pillar of literacy and education. The folks that work at the library provide vital supports to students of all ages, offering resources for research, homework help, resume writing, academic enrichment, and personal encouragement. For many children and families, our library is a gateway to a world of learning, nurturing a love of reading that lasts a lifetime. Our library is for everyone. It serves as a community hub, offering an array of programs that enrich the lives of people of all ages. From resource recommendations to job search assistance, from cultural events to access to technology, our library caters to the diverse needs and interests of our community. Moreover, our library helps to bridge the digital divide. In our digital world, access to internet is not a luxury, but a necessity. Yet, for some in our community, internet access may still be out of reach. Libraries provide free access to the internet, ensuring that no one is left behind in the digital age. Furthermore, libraries are beacons of democracy. They uphold the principles of intellectual freedom and the right to access information without censorship. Our library stands as a torch of truth and reason, promoting critical thinking and civil discourse. We must consider our obligation to the community, to the Peace River Regional District, to School District 59, and the province of British Columbia, especially regarding the Library Act. I urge you to consider the profound impact that our library has had on our community and the lives of our citizens. The value of our library cannot be measured solely in dollars and cents, but measured in the minds that it opens, the opportunities that it creates, and the bonds that it strengthens. Let us come together to ensure that our library continues to thrive, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. So with that preface, I would like to then dive into the proposed library budget, keeping in mind that the original library budget was considering numbers as of November 2023, whereas there was another month to go, certain annual payments hadn't been made yet. So in regards to the librarian, the library board, and the bookkeeper, they were able to compile these numbers, working arduously for it and getting it done. But essentially what we're looking at is what the real numbers are and how much it actually costs to sustain the library in our village. And there's a lot of context to each of these different numbers. Keep in mind the librarian has not seen an increase in their salary for the last 5 years. They haven't seen a cost of living increase. Inflationary increases are only modestly predicted in this budget. They're still gonna run a very slim budget in order to provide the continued service to the community. But I'm able to, on behalf of the library board, I'm a liaison for the library board. So I simply just want to provide context and numbers to make sure that council is fully aware of all the context and intricacies of this budget. So I'm here at your service.
Councillor Whittle, is he with us?
Marcel, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you might have to speak up.
Oh, that's the only way.
Okay, give that one to
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear him on that one.
Can we move the phone version of him to over here? And then that way we can hear him.
When you vote, you gotta yell.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay, you can hear that well, Councillor Whittle?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Okay, perfect. Well, wonderful. Do you have any questions regarding the Pouskibee Public Library? Does anybody have any other questions regarding the budget?
No, I'm just happy to see that we have updated numbers so that we can add a little more clarity on what they're looking for.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. Okay. Well then, I'm going to call the question, put the motion on the floor to accept. Oh, sorry, Councillor Rattle.
Well, as per Robert's Rules of Order, I just wanted to ensure that other members had an opportunity to speak first before I kept speaking again.
Yes. Oh, okay. So yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the other thing too is with these new numbers, I'm able to provide greater context. Essentially, my big point would be they essentially only have about $11,000 or $13,000 in the bank that's going to help them survive for the next however long it takes until funds are dispersed by the village. So that's kind of a concerning situation as well. May I ask when dispersal of these amounts would occur?
Well, so once our budget is officially completed and we've created the budget bylaw, then we can proceed with that. I'm gonna go to staff regarding the first payment. When is that normally made, Ms. Stokes? If you could refer to staff on that one.
The library has requested 50% of their budget, as it is stated in our grant and aid policy, and we just received that today, so we will be able to disperse that on our next check run, which is in 2 weeks.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to officially put the motion on the floor that we accept the Pouskibee Public Library budget for a total of $116,810. Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Thank you very much. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
In favor?
Okay, that is carried. Thank you. All right.
Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order, Rebecca?
Mayor, are you opposed?
Oh, no, I am in favor. I just only have to vote when it's sort of a tiebreaker according to Robert's Rules of Order. So. Alrighty, so new business number 2, recommendation 2.
The council receives the information about the Peace River Agreement as information.
Seconded by
I'll second
Councillor.
that.
Oh, Councillor Rabble beat you to it.
Wants to hear it.
All right. So in there, under page 11, is the beginning of the report. So Councillor Wall at the last meeting had asked regarding the PRA agreement and was sort of looking for a bit more of a breakdown. So staff has been digging into it, and we thought that we would bring this information forward just for information for council at this point in time. That's all council's looking for. So this is the information. You'll see, oh, it might help if I'm looking at the right page. Please excuse me. You'll see that the report has been made. Councillor Wall?
So it appears to me, as per this report here, in number C, that equipment, vehicles, machinery, information technology, etc., we can use up to 15% of our PRA budget for that, and we can use 25% towards operating costs, and debt servicing and one-time projects, things like that, we can use another 20%. So it appears as though the information that we have been receiving may not have been fully accurate, because we can use some of this cost towards our operational, and we can use it for things such as the command truck that we have agreed to purchase. So there has been some miscommunication going around that this needs to be exclusively for capital, where it clearly states here that is not. It's a shame that this was not provided to us in advance of our actual budgeting process.
So I would like council to refer to the report. So on the front page of the report, there's an actual quoted email from Joshua Galbraith. I apologize if I said his name wrong. He's the policy analyst for the local governing financing branch. So we've actually reached out to the ministry regarding this. And you will see within there that he sort of gives a bit of a breakdown. So there's priority 1, capital, priority 2, asset management, priority 3, planning, priority 4, services. He refers to those as camps. And then in there, he sort of talks about like these requirements are not written into the agreement itself, but they came about through discussions between the ministry and the signers afterwards to ensure that the PRA reporting was robust enough to confirm the provincial government requirements. The focus for the spending should be funding from capital projects, associated life cycle costs, and planning. Priorities 1 through 3. The lowest priority eligible costs are the basic operating services, which is a priority 4. So he is stating within there that the recommendation from the local government financing branch, which handles the PRA, is recommending that main capital port. That is their recommendation. In there, he said that he sort of gets a bit more of a breakdown towards the bottom of the 3rd paragraph underneath that breakdown, where he says that these costs are eligible under the PRA. They should not make up a large portion of the local government's annual funding request because they are generally recoverable from the current municipal tax base, where, as I said, that is something that we do currently struggle with. The guideline is that basic services costs not related to, yes.
You're reading a document that we have in front of us here, and that's what you did to Councillor Rabel last time. I just want to cut you off short because that
Is it just for information? Why don't we take it home, read it over, and bring it
Yes,
back?
I have read it. My point
I have.
is that
Excuse me, point of order, I'm just going to ask other members to not interrupt you.
my point of order is that when Councillor Rabel was trying to read the agreement last time in the meeting, you cut him off short. And now this time you're reading a different portion, an email nonetheless, not even the agreement.
Yeah. So I'm not quite too sure exactly what procedural point of order you're making, but I would just like to point out the exceeding of 20% of the overall annual funding request. And so that's sort of what I'm really wanting us to focus back on. And then again, it sort of gives a bit more of a breakdown towards the bottom there. So are there any questions that council has regarding the information that's presented to them? Councillor Rattle?
Is this, essentially this percentage arrangement, is this a binding requirement or is it more of a recommendation in the long and short?
So I'm going to refer to staff on this one just because they have been working on this for the past week. So I'm going to refer to our CAO.
We'd like to get back to you on this.
Okay, so staff is going to get back to you on that for information. From my understanding from the report that's been put in front of us,
Oh, sorry, there's another number.
yes, Councilor Wall?
On the second to last page, it has a table of where we're allowed to allocate funds.
Oh. Yes.
So I would say that if we followed this table, we should be fine.
I'm just noting the dates of this table for 2020, right, so 2016 to 2020. And so can staff talk in regards to those dates with the 2020 end date? Is there a more recent copy of the PRA that has been put in?
So at this time, this is what we uncovered, and as it's noted in the report, this was a policy that was in the works, but the person who was working on it passed away. And then the current administration that came in afterwards, I believe, was not aware of this, but I can't speak for that. This is just what we've uncovered now.
I can speak to that.
And we're currently not taking any comments from the gallery. Councillor Rattle?
So essentially, this information coming forward, we can breathe a sigh of relief looking at it going, we can actually utilize these funds to cover the cost of a new command truck, help cover the cost of a new command truck. It explicitly says in here, library funding, $95,000 annually.
Mm-hmm.
So even with the increase in library funding, there's funds that are coming from the province, from taxes collected from the industrial areas surrounding the community. So we can kind of, the hope from this is that we can breathe a sigh of relief going, hey, we can actually utilize these funds in ways that support our community, and that these services serve our community in the surrounding area, but the burden of supporting them is not purely on taxpayers just within the village, and that we can enjoy that.
If we use this going forward, yes, for this year, our budget is currently not on this agenda, but our budget has been fully spent. So this year, the money for the Pouce-Coupe Public Library will be coming from reserves. Yeah. So we have spent our total budget. The only amount that we had in the surplus was $13,000. So that $13,000 could be put towards the added, I think it was 43 to 48. I don't have the exact number in front of me. So the rest of that number is going to have to come from reserves for this year, because we've already spent the majority of our budget. Yes, Councillor Rattle.
If I may clarify, when you say spent, are you saying allocated? We
Yes.
haven't approved
Yes,
the budget
so it's
yet.
been allocated, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that amount of money will be coming out of reserves for this year, but then coming into next year, we can spend and look at it differently going forward. Councillor Moore.
The budget hasn't been approved yet, so could we not, instead of increasing taxes 10%, putting some money in reserve and then taking some money out of reserve to pay for the library, could we not just use our PRA money directly and have a lesser tax increase?
As I said, this year, the budget's not on this agenda, so it's difficult to speak on it, but we're not putting any money into reserves for this year. There was no money going into it. Last year, we put $170,000 into reserves. This year, we're not putting any money in. Councillor Rowell.
To kind of bring this all in a big circle, would it not be best to provide direction to staff for the May 3rd meeting to incorporate this revised library budget number so that we have prepared numbers for next meeting, and then we can incorporate what this breakdown looks like?
That is most likely going to happen. Once this process is sort of approved this evening and council has made the motion to go forward with the change in the Pouce-Coupe Public Library budget, then when our numbers come back to us at the next meeting, that's where you're going to see those changes. And that's happening on May 1st.
May 1st?
May 1st, yes. Councilor Rowell.
Just because this is a motion on the fly, I put the motion on the floor to direct staff to incorporate the revised Pouce-Coupe Library budget into the budget numbers to be presented at the next council meeting.
Okay, can I get a seconder on that motion? Councilor Wall, thank you. Discussion regarding the motion you're making, Jeff? They were gonna do that anyway, but if you feel the need to make the motion, then yeah. Okay, any other discussion regarding the motion? All those in favor? Councillor Whittle?
In favor. They're gonna do it anyway, so that's no difference.
There you go, that's carried, thank you. Okay, so in regards to receiving this for information, is there any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of receiving for information?
In favor.
In favor, okay, that's carried. Thank you very much. All right.
Point of order.
Oh, what's your point of order in regard to?
It's regarding our agenda itself. as for our council procedure bylaw, we have a requirement prior to adjournment to ask for public questions, which is not unusual.
So during a special meeting, we don't normally have a public question period, but if council would like to have one, then the motion can be put on the floor and it can happen with a majority vote.
Our procedure bylaw states that council meetings, and it has like an order of things that need to happen, and in that list of things is a question period.
Not on special meetings, on our
All
regular
meetings, all meetings.
Nope, I can refer to
Okay.
it here.
I make a motion on the fly to have a public question period.
Can I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Ravel. Any discussion on having a question period? Councillor Ravel?
Transparency is our value. We are in a democracy.
Choice of council. Any other comments or concerns? Okay, all those in favor of holding a question period? Okay, all those opposed? Are you in favor, Councillor Whittle?
Yeah, I'm in favor. I'd like to hear what members of the public have to say.
Sounds good. All those opposed? Are you,
Oh, yeah.
would you like your opposed noted?
No.
Okay, and that's carried.
Mayor, are you opposed or in favor?
I'm in favor. I don't technically have to vote according to Robert's rules of order. I only have to vote when there's a tiebreaker, so we're all good.
That's a misconception within Robert's rules, by the way.
I will double check it. Thank you. All right.
The NCLGA last year, they had a discussion regarding that at the LGLA conference we attended and at UBCM we attended last year. There were multiple presenters that said that the mayor is required.
Okay, so perfect. So I would like to move to the question period, or if anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to ask them now.
So are you guys gonna lower the 10%?
At this point in time, my understanding is that the budget has not been accepted, and so it is going to be coming back on the May 1st meeting, and then that's when council can consider their budget at that point in time with the changes of the Goose County Public Library Board.
What about the museum's budget?
The museum's budget, at this point in time, it has not come back for reconsideration, and I've had no direction from council to reconsider the museum's budget.
I think with the PRA agreement, now that you've found out exactly how you're supposed to use it, the museum should get their budget back.
Yeah, and that is, if council feels that they would like to have it reconsidered, they can. I've met with the Poughkeepsie Museum, I just met with them on Tuesday, and everything seemed fine, so, but that is definitely a direction of council. Once we look at our budget when it comes back on May 1st, council is more than welcome to feel if that needs to be reconsidered at that time.
Okay, and another thing, you've got a woman here, sitting here, that's worked here for 10 years, and she never put anything in front of your guys' table at all, so that you guys know the contracts have to be read. Now you've just made a complete fool out of yourself, because you said you can't use the PRA money.
Right.
When you could only use it for capital.
Right.
Right,
And
and you
my-
made a complete fool out of yourself because you did not understand, you would not let him read it.
Yes. Ms. McKendy, if you're going to be rude to me, I am going to ask you to leave.
I'm not being rude to you.
I did.
Feel that you are.
So you need to start reading the contracts. I
Absolutely.
embarrassed you with the library one, I embarrassed you with the PRA one,
Let's not start.
again. She needs to give you all your information.
Okay.
Hold her accountable.
Thank you. I also am going to ask that you not speak to our staff that way either. Please, I think.
Well, I had to wait a year for a variance for my son because she didn't put the proper information in front of you. He had to spend $60,000 on a lot because she didn't put the information in front of you. I had to do it. I did.
And
Did I
if
get
any-
paid for it? No, but yet he still got charged again. Again.
And Ms. McKenny, if you would like to file a complaint, you're more than within your right to, absolutely. You can file a complaint within the office if you feel that you're not being properly represented.
And where's the complaint go to? Her?
You can send it to me, or you can forward it to another
Like
counselor.
the petition for the rehab center, I haven't seen it come to council.
The
Where's that?
petition did. It came during a delegation that we had with, I cannot remember his last name, with
Hernandez?
Mr. Hernandez, yes. Yeah, that was then brought forward during the delegation that we
Well, it
had with
wasn't
him.
put in the minutes. I never found it in the minutes.
You're correct, it was not put in the minutes.
Not voiced.
And your minutes are supposed to look like a resolution. I actually have talked to several people about it, and the minutes are to be look like a resolution. resolution. Because next year or 5 years from now, people won't know what you're voting on. I tried with Sandy to do them, but council wouldn't let me.
Okay, so again, if you'd like to file a complaint, you're more than welcome to, but I just ask that you follow the complaint procedure. If you feel that you're not being represented properly, you're more than welcome to send it to a mayor of council.
Are you referring to the same complaint procedure that would?
So that's the in writing, so you can send it in writing to info@foodscoopy.bc.ca.
Just like the complaints you received that you refused to tell me about.
Point of order, council.
Oh, no, we're talking about complaints. And you have to
Councilwoman,
come for yourself.
I'm going to.
You accused me of colluding with other people about 2 minutes prior
I
to this
apologize, I
meeting.
will be adjourning this meeting. Adjourned. Thank you very much. Make note of the adjournment at 6:30.
Do not accuse me of things
Thank
like
you,
that.
Councilor Wong. Perfect.
Point of order, an adjournment requires a seconder.
Yeah, nope, we are adjourned.
Oh, so the meeting's not over.